Good evening and welcome to the 2019 Flashstarts Demo Day. Thank you for being here. My name is Dan Hampu and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Fontus Blue, where we develop solutions and support water professionals, delivering exceptional water to everyone every day. It's an exceptional water right there. So how many of you have consumed public drinking water at some point in your life? That's what I thought. And if you didn't raise your hand, I'm guessing that you probably are lying. So the problem with producing high quality water is that you have varying source water conditions that are further impacted by Mother Nature, which makes treating the water that's going to eventually end up in our bodies extremely difficult. When you're putting chemicals into the water that's ultimately going to be consumed, this means that it's going to be very heavily regulated. And it's not getting any better thanks to the lead incident in Flint, Michigan, as well as currently the harmful algal blooms that are impacting our Great Lake to our north, which is the source water for a number of northern Ohio cities and regions. This leaves people like you and I, the end consumers, simply wanting safe water. So I want to introduce you to George. George is a water manager. George is our customer. George hates being surprised. George also always feels like he's chasing his tail. He gets calls at all hours of the day and night to come to the facility and respond to questions from his staff, as well as complaints from consumers. Lastly, George just doesn't feel like he has enough time in the day. George and his staff do take in a lot of information, and they capture a lot of data. This is their preferred mechanism, a bench sheet, where water quality parameters and chemical doses are tracked throughout an entire day. Sometimes this is then transposed into some digital format for operational purposes, or in this example that you can see, for compliance reasons to send to the Ohio EPA. Every single facility has some sort of SCADA, which is supervisory control and data acquisition, which merely takes data from certain sensors throughout the facility and then puts it on a screen for them to use. But when it comes to actually trying to hit operational targets, this, surprisingly, is the gold standard. An 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Not all plants use this, and the few that do are the gold standard. And this has been confirmed by water subject matter experts, consultants, and a lot of the customers that we've had the opportunity to work with. So we believe that this tribal knowledge, this, hey, I've been doing this for the last 40 years and we're going to continue doing this, is not acceptable. This is an article that was released just 1 week ago that says big data and AI can really impact city water management, turning it from an art to a science. And that's where we come in. We have Decision Blue, which is the preeminent software for water treatment managers to reduce uncertainty, gain insights that they've never had before, and build confidence in their treatment operations, ultimately ending in better outcomes at less expense. And this is regardless of whether or not you have one compliance issue that you're trying to target, or you've got competing or simultaneous compliance issues that you're trying to handle. We do this by using our proprietary algorithms that help with water quality forecasting and chemical dosing support. And the best part of all is we're not going to plop a stack of papers on your desk and say, have fun. We're here with you along the journey. We provide technical support to make sure whatever objectives you're trying to hit, we can be there for you. The drinking water market in the United States is a big one. As we've already discussed, everybody in this room at some point in their life has been impacted or consumed public drinking water. But 300 million people actually rely on this water every single day. They get this water from 50,000 water systems, and it's expected over the next 10 years that nearly $750 billion is going to be invested into our water treatment systems and their distribution systems. So with limited marketing, we've actually been able to get customers in 9 different states, Canada, and are working on an implementation in Brazil. We also have contracts with some facilities that are owned by American Water and Aqua America, 2 of the largest investor-owned utilities in the United States, both of which publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Our business model is one of a software as a service. So depending on the size of your plant and the number of water quality objectives you're trying to hit, we can support you. We do this through a 1-year contract that starts with an implementation fee and a licensing fee, 50% due up front, 50% due upon successful installation of the build. And we have additional revenue opportunities. We actually do consulting post-installation. That's an additional revenue source for us. And we've been really excited about strategic partnerships where we can recommend certain chemical and hardware providers where we get a portion of revenue based off of the pounds used or the dollars that are sent to, that are transacted in the agreement. Our impact today, probably the most exciting slide in my opinion. Fontus Blue supports water facilities that sends water to 3.5 million people. The next one's the coolest one. In order to send water to 3.5 million people, you got to produce nearly 1 billion gallons of water per day. 1 billion with a B. That's a lot of water, and we're just getting started. But some case studies. So we actually helped one water treatment facility decrease their coagulant dose by 20% and actually have the best water quality in the company's history. Better outcomes, less expense. We thought that was cool, so we went and helped another customer. Helped them with a HAB, harmful algal bloom situation, where we decreased their primary chemical for the purpose by 52%, and again, better quality, so better outcome, less expense. We're able to do this because of our unique cocktail of our team makeup. We've got a subject matter expert who's done this for 30 years doing research and applying it in this space. He knows how to work with utility members. You couple that with the rest of our business and technical acumen, and pair it with a board member who's built and sold a hardware product company in this space, and we feel like we're really primed to succeed in the upcoming years. But it's not just us. We've benefited from tremendous partnerships in Northeast Ohio and across the state. Started with the University of Akron's I-Corps program, went to the state program for customer discovery along the same lines. We're currently a tenant and receive mentorship in Bounce. I see Doug here, and we thank Bounce for their support. And we've been funded in part by the Innovation Fund and received mentorship from Jumpstart. And I see Mark Horsten up here, who's been one of our biggest fans and supporters, and we thank him. But most importantly, we've made a tremendous amount of progress over the last 3 months, and it's really because of Shannon, Charlie, Elena, Emily, and the rest of the Flashstarts interns. So I think now is an appropriate time to give them another round of applause, because we're all here because of them. So at the end of last year, we had 3 dashboards and 18 customers, and by the end of this year, we'll have doubled both of those and be cash flow positive. Into 2020, we're going to have significant product upgrades to enhance the user experience so that we can go after 100 different utilities. So our ask of you here this evening, do you know water treatment managers? Do you know utility managers? Do you know any city directors? Do you know small, medium, or large engineering firms and leaders at those firms that we could contact? We'd love those introductions, and we'd love to start those conversations with you here this evening. Lastly, we'd ask you to talk to your community and your utility manager. Ask them if they have Fontus Blue. Ask if they know what Fontus Blue is about. Lastly, just drink more water. It's good for you. It's good for us. Thanks again. My name's Dan Hampu, Chief Operating Officer. We believe everybody deserves exceptional water every day.